Robert Rodriguez, El Mariachi, is a film that is extremely low budget.
Imagine getting some friends, an old film camera, and $7,000 that you receive for lending out your body to medical research and making a movie that's a hit. Well, that's what a young Texan did, and his film is opening today in Houston and other cities across the country.
The film was shot in Acuña, Mexico, and it was made for a mere $7,000. Apparently, Robert Rodriguez, at the time, he was 23 years old. He sold his body to science. He was doing some clinical research studies where they were drug testing him, and he made the other half with his friend who is the star of this film, who plays the El Mariachi.
I had to go do a medical research study to make money in 1 month to go do that.
You became a guinea pig
I was
for
a
cash.
guinea pig for cash.
Yeah.
I wrote it over that month that I was in that hospital. I was writing leisurely, you know. It was like, hey, I'm getting paid to write, I kept telling myself. And well, my producer and star of that film, Carlos Gallardo, who was the mariachi, he sold some land for the other half, so I only had to come up with half of it. Yeah. And we went in and did it together, thinking we could sell it for hopefully $10,000 or $15,000.
That's incredible, man. 15,000. Get this. El Mariachi made over $2 million in the box office and holds the Guinness World Record as the lowest budgeted film to gross $1 million in theaters.
And when I decided to go make El Mariachi, not to break it into the U.S., I was just going to go make it in Spanish and sell it to the Spanish home video market to see if I could make money. I'd be the king if I could just make money doing what I love. I just want to do what I love. I just want to be self-sufficient. I don't need to live off much. I'm from a family of 10 kids. We know how to survive on nothing. Let me just go make stuff for a living. Went to go sell it to the Spanish home video market, sent it to an agent out of the blue, and he sent it around town, and it got bought by Columbia Pictures, and we're doing a sequel with Antonio Banderas. Before I knew it, I was 23.
Mariachi.
The film begins at a jail. We meet one of the main characters, Azul, who is running an operation from his jail cell.
I sense much fear in you.
Buenos días, Azul. ¿Sabes quién habla?
Moko. Then we meet the main villain of the film, Moko, who sends some goons to the jail to kill Azul because he doesn't want to give Azul his share of some money.
¿Qué pasó, Moko? ¿Me vas a sacar hoy?
I find it amusing how corrupt these police officers are in this film because they just allow these goons to come in and apparently start shooting people.
Están tres tipos armados. ¿Tú los mandaste?
Damn, some friend.
But the tables turn on Moko and his goons because Azul has his own set of goons.
It was all done in the editing.
Aquí estoy, Moko. También tus amiguitos, pero no por mucho tiempo. Tienen algo que decirte y lo van a gritar. Escúchalo detalladamente, porque tú dirás lo mismo cuando Dios te visite.
Listen.
And now the stage is set for Azul versus Moko. I enjoy the opening credits to this film because I really enjoy the musical score here, even though there are 5 different people that were involved in the score of this film, and I don't know which one of them produced this. I find the opening credits score to this film to be extremely compelling.
Originally, this guard was supposed to be male, and Azul was supposed to shoot his way out, but instead we just decided to pay her off, and it actually turns out to be funnier that way. Plus, with the budget we had, we figured, well, if he shoots the cop, that means the cops will be after him, which would be great because the bad guys and the cops would be looking for the mariachi, but, we can't afford that.
I find this scene here to be badass because the music and then how it's shot, and then I just love the vibes from Al Zul. He's a real badass in this film, and then they got the guitar case full of weapons. It's unique, it's different. I'm feeling the vibes. Then we meet the protagonist of this film, the main character, the real main character, the El Mariachi, and he's played by Robert Rodriguez's best friend.
I saw everything in the production, from a production point of view. And I said, okay, so what's the difference between our small films and this? And the only difference was the cameras and the lights. Because everything else is the same. The actors, the props, the locations. It's the same. That was the only thing. So that took all my fear away. And in that summer, I said, okay, we can do it. And that's when Robert went to become a lab rat.
Desde que era pequeño siempre quise ser un mariachi. Como mi padre, mi abuelo y mi bisabuelo.
Ancestors.
Todavía no era tan bueno como ellos, pero está avanzando mucho.
We get this voiceover narration, which usually I don't like in films, but I find it to be used very sparingly here. And it just sets the stage for what's about to come.
El coco gratis al filo de la ciudad hizo sentirme que era la ciudad de la buena suerte. Pero estaba totalmente equivocado. ¿No hay música?
¿Por qué?
Soy un mariachi, muy bueno. Toco baladas hermosas, bellas, viejas y unas originales.
¿Y a mí qué me importa? ¿Por qué voy a querer a un mariachi cuando yo tengo una banda entera?
We needed to find a keyboard and a keyboard player. This was the only guy in town we could find who had a keyboard, so that's the way to get cast in the movie. He said if you own any kind of prop or production value, you'll instantly be put in the film because, we need your props. So I went ahead and decided to shoot this scene at 16 frames per second in order to save film, which gives it this sped up look. And also because a lot of the music in these straight to Spanish home video movies, the music throughout the movie sounds like this keyboard. So I wanted the audience to know, especially our target audience, that this was supposed to be a joke. So we shot it for those two reasons. One, to make it look kind of funny for them, and then also because I didn't want to run out of film. And sure enough, they ran out of film right as this guy sat down.
There's so much behind the scenes stuff in the making of this film. We'll be here for days.
They gave us white ones and yellow ones. One was a body squib and one was a ground squib. We didn't know which was which, so we had to test it.
Was that a white one or a yellow one?
Si quieres ganar una vida real, consíguete un instrumento que valga la pena, cabrón.
Having no luck in this establishment, El Mariachi leaves, and then Al Zul makes his grand appearance.
¿Qué puta es esto? ¿Día del mariachi? No hay trabajo para ti tampoco.
Dinero, una cerveza en botella, güey.
Al Zul, man, he's freaking badass, man. I love him.
Moco.
¿El dueño de este lugar?
Keep your mouth shut. Don't say a fucking word.
Ya, listo.
Es claro. Nosotros trabajamos
Keep
para
your
él.
mouth shut.
Qué mal.
Now you see,
Tenlo.
you done fucked up, man.
This is when we did our first squib effects. Our squibs were bought from Los Angeles. We had a special effects guy who was supposed to come down and do the effects for us, but his movie went over schedule. So he told us where to order them from, and he told us how to do it.
There it goes. It's just a weightlifting belt, a condom full of homemade blood made of food coloring and corn syrup.
With a D-cell battery. Tap the two wires to the battery, and it would the squib would explode.
Azul, man, he's freaking badass, man. I love him.
The local newscasters in town were very critical of everything that went on. We grabbed this guy and made him the bartender, and this other guy, we made him the hotel clerk. That kept them involved in the picture, and it made it easier for us to run down the street with guns, have no one complain.
Si ves a alguien en el pueblo con un estuche de guitarra, llama a este número. Se llama Azul.
Y si no te llamo, me matas, ¿verdad?
Say the word mustache. Yo no, pero él sí. Now we both have said mustache.
Trying to get a stroke of luck at a new establishment, he meets a fine specimen named Domino.
¿Qué te sirvo?
¿Qué te sirvo?
He tries to sell his sales pitch to Domino and getting a job so that she can hire him as their mariachi. But unfortunately, he fails again and he has no luck in this town.
Gracias. Perdón, señor, ¿me pudiera dejar un depósito?
Nomás me quedan unos cuantos pesos.
Oh, así está bien. Que la pase bien. Gracias.
Snitches go to the police. I ain't no motherfucking snitch. Businessman.
This thing on the wall is a decoration you see in a lot of, Spanish homes. And my grandmother had one in her wall, and I always wondered what it was. It's this crossed swords and a ball and chain. And whenever someone of any kind of Mexican heritage watches this movie, they say, my grandmother has one of those in her house. I say, yeah, mine does too. So I thought we'd just include it in the movie and have him use it in a nice action scene. Grab the ball and chain and swing it around.
Welcome to hell!
Moko's goons travel throughout the town trying to find Azul, but unfortunately this means bad news for the mariachi because of mistaken identity.
No, allí no. 410, 410. ¡Hey, pendejos, acá!
Oh, mustache, big mustache.
That one cable that's tied around the pole right there, we put up, fastened it from that pole to a telephone pole across the street. And then what he does is slide across this with a homemade pulley device that we had a local blacksmith make us for $12 US. We tested it in Carlos's backyard.
Action!
He's just shuffling around, we're not going very fast at all, making it look like there's a lot of danger involved. That truck right there that he runs onto actually is, you notice that the bad guys drive it around in the movie. That's Carlos's truck. All my camera, it's our production truck. All my camera equipment's in the back. It followed us around everywhere and shows up quite a few times in the movie. It's just an all-purpose shooting vehicle.
Tonight on America's Dumbest Criminals.
I do enjoy the scene where the mariachi makes his first kill, and I love how the actor plays it. The expression on his face tells the whole story, and his reaction to it tells the story. But I do find it to be missing a little something. I do wish they had played up more on him killing someone, because I assume the mariachi is an innocent guy. He doesn't want to kill people. He just happens to fall in this situation.
El Mariachi.